Getting away for a vacation can be a challenge. Bringing your immediate family along makes it more complicated, but the rewards can really pay off. So imagine how much more memorable a vacation can be if grandparents, brothers, sisters, cousins, and friends all come together in a single place. And the more special the destination, the more outstanding the experience. From the forests of Florida to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, from the great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee to the great Snowy Mountains of Oregon, these are 4 of America's best reunion destinations and perfect places for getting away together.
Getting away together is made possible by
TripAdvisor.com. 50 million reviews and opinions from real travelers.
They treated me like a rock star. Even the concierge knew me by name.
We could kayak right from our own private dock.
It felt like we had the whole island to ourselves.
I could almost reach out my window and touch the Eiffel Tower.
What an amazing vacation. We can't wait to go back.
Fantastic.
Millions of reviews of hotels, vacation rentals, and more. All from real people who've been where you want to go. TripAdvisor.com.
You've planned your trip for a long time. Wouldn't it be nice to know someone is helping you make it safe and relaxing? For more than 20 years, CSA Travel Protection has been making travel convenient with friendly, expert service, giving you security that your travel investment is safe, whatever happens, and the assistance you need from travel delays to emergency care. Before, during, and after your trip, we're CSA Travel Protection. Getting Away Together is devoted to people who reunite in celebration of friends and family. If you'd like to know more about this or any other episode, log on to gettingawaytogether.com. Learn more about each destination, how to get there, where to stay, and where to find the activities, homes, and people featured in the programs, plus streaming videos of every episode. That's gettingawaytogether.com.
Let's begin by tagging along to a reunion of this large Greek family who are on their way to this magnificent vacation home in the Outer Banks region of North Carolina. Why here? 2 reasons. The first is the location itself. The Outer Banks is a long strip of barrier islands that guard the Atlantic coast of North Carolina. With 130 miles of unspoiled coastline, it lures millions of visitors annually, and it's truly gorgeous. The second part of the appeal, which is the case with all the reunions we visited, is that nobody in this group lives here. They've come from Atlanta, from Cleveland, and even from Greece itself. Coming to neutral territory like the Outer Banks means that nobody has the pressure of being the host for 17 people. And choosing a vacation rental home like this one all but guarantees maximum togetherness for the entire reunion.
Check out that pool.
How beautiful. A pool?
Yeah, look at that waterfall.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool. It's always been like, boy, it'd be a dream to have a place that I can open the windows up and there's the water, there's the beach. So it's kind of neat for us to, hey, here's the beach for us, right here.
If you want to get a bird's eye view of the lay of the land here, you have to get yourself up into one of the 5 lighthouses that dot the Outer Banks coastline. The granddaddy of them all is the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. It's the tallest brick beacon in the United States. But if climbing 268 steps is a bit much for you, there are alternatives.
All right, y'all, welcome to the Currituck Beach Lighthouse. We're glad to have you. Here are the things you're going to want to know before you climb. 214 stairs, up and back, 162 feet to the top. But y'all are going to be standing outside at about 140 feet, okay? The lighthouse has a sign out there that says 1873. Congress gives money. 1874, they start building. And finished 1875. By the way, y'all, one cool thing, I lived in Greece for 2 years. Και μιλάω τα ελληνικά. I speak Greek. Μιλάμε τα ελληνικά. Okay, εντάξει? Εντάξει, all right, let's do it. All right, y'all, we're about to climb the big iron stairwell. All this ironwork was transported down here on a barge from Philadelphia. Atlantic Ocean right there.
Oh, yeah,
Not bad. All right, yeah. Here, y'all take a
I
walk. I like it too. All right, you're about 140 feet off the ground right now.
If there's one word that could describe a first-time visitor's impression of the Outer Banks, it might be wind. Winds blow constantly here, in the trees and grass, tossing the surf, billowing flags and kites, or just lulling you to sleep on a summer night. But in 1903, it was this same wind that first brought the Outer Banks of North Carolina to the world stage, specifically Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. This was the spot where the flying machine of Wilbur and Orville Wright finally became airborne, and the world was changed forever. North Carolina even puts First in Flight on their license plates, so you can understand why our family wanted to try it themselves while they were here.
I never thought about hang gliding, because I've always thought of hang gliding as jumping off a mountain, 2,000 feet up and experiencing that, much like parachuting. But this was a little different, more of a beginner, just jumping off a dune.
Nice, relaxed grip here, and adjusting in. None of these big motions. You guys have any final questions before we get started?
I think we're good.
You ready to go?
The hang gliding was by far the thing I want to keep coming back to do, especially coming around the Outer Banks. It's a big suspense up to the cliffhanger, and then boom, it's done. You're like, wow. Very free.
You're able to feel the ground take off from your feet. Once you're gone and you feel that experience of, okay, I'm weightlessness, this is kind of neat. I didn't even know it was like 10 seconds, but it was getting cool.
All right, I'd like everybody to come together. We're going to do a whole group photo. We're going to get the whole family together.
This vacation is certainly going to be one of the best, I'm sure, for all of us.
1, 2, 3.
I think we did a lot more activities outside the house itself than ever before. I think that actually made it a better bonding experience.
It was a big fat Greek vacation for sure. Lots of Greek food too.
And also being able to enjoy the evening. As you know, Greeks come alive at night. And so the dancing and the dinners and just the singing we do each and every night, I think that's probably the most memorable part.
It has been the ultimate vacation so far for all of us.
Yes, for all the years that the family's been together.
It's been the best one so far.
And just like our big, loud Greek family on vacation, the Outer Banks of North Carolina will always be there, in their memories and in their hearts. Now, let's meet a family originally from Kansas that is so busy so often that more than one vacation has had to be canceled at the last minute because there's just so much else to do. So now, Khaki is hoping against hope that her hardworking husband, Seth, their 4 kids, plus 2 grandparents, can make it to a vacation home in the city of Kissimmee in Central Florida.
When Khaki told me about this trip, I thought, I don't think I can make this either.
Seth is definitely a great dad, but he still has, that responsibility to the company, and he wants to do well in the company so that we are taken care of.
But some things were delegated and decided that I am going to take the 4 days off, spend time with the family, and build some memories.
Kissimmee is equidistant from the more famous destinations of Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, and Florida's famous theme parks.
When we arrived at the house Thursday evening, I just thought, it's going to be, it's going to be a house that we're going to be staying in, and it's going to have everything that a house normally has.
We walked in, and I have never seen my grandchildren react the way they did.
Usually I would have to stop at the grocery store to get all the things that I needed to prepare meals, but with this, made a list and they were able to fill it all, and I walked in and everything was already there, and I didn't have to do any of the grocery shopping.
There was food in the refrigerator, and that made my wife very happy.
It was fabulous.
Even though Kissimmee is the #1 feeder area for the theme parks of Central Florida, most visitors completely miss a lot of what makes this area so unique. It's a quiet, sleepy little community with a few charming reminders of its early beginnings as a cattle town. One of these is called Forever, Florida. Right in the middle of one of the most densely populated parts of the state lies an enormous eco-ranch of untamed wilderness. Forever, Florida offers something they call an eco-safari. Big-wheeled trucks take you way back into wetlands, dense cypress domes, and even a working cattle and horse ranch. Nearly 5,000 pristine acres. The most popular adventure at Florida Eco Safari is a 2.5-hour soaring experience on what might be called a zip line on steroids. After a short hike down the Florida Trail, one of only 8 national scenic trails in the country, you arrive at one of 9 observation posts rising 55 feet above Florida wilderness.
As I was climbing up the stairs, I looked back at the guy and said, once I'm up there for good, aren't I? And he said, yeah, you're not coming back down unless you go down the zip line.
When I heard that my mom was going on the zip line, I was 50% sure she would do it and 50% she wouldn't.
I'm only doing this for the kids. After that first jump, no problem after that. I think as my kids get older, I get a little bit more brave and I realize, okay, I can do these. It's okay for you to do these and not have to be mom all the time.
Forever, Florida has a tremendous appeal to visitors as a virtually undiscovered attraction. Of course, there are other attractions around here that are less undiscovered. Depending on where you are in Kissimmee, you're never more than 15 to 20 minutes away from Walt Disney World Resort.
Anytime we can get away as a family is beyond precious because as they get older, the time that they want to spend with their friends more so than with their family is becoming harder and harder to get them together.
What's also interesting is that for all the excitement this place generates, there are still unexpected benefits.
Oh, I've definitely seen Seth relax. He just turned his phone off, and that doesn't happen very often at all. It's fabulous.
Every night, at 9 o'clock at the World Showcase Lagoon in Epcot, Illuminations Reflections of Earth, a live pyrotechnic show, brings together the past, present, and future of our planet.
The only way that you can be a core, strong, happy family is to do things like this. And if you just let time pass and never take the time to do it, it's gone. You will never get that chance to do it again.
I could relax on this trip, and I have relaxed on this trip.
This is the kind of time that they remember, and this is the dad that they really know.
For me, this has been my dream come true.
Now, let's talk about this group of 7 friends who live in Seattle. They work together, they have dinner together, they go hiking together, they've kayaked together. It doesn't sound like this qualifies as a reunion, unless you consider this part of the definition of reunion, being brought together as a unified whole. Now they've arrived at a vacation home in Oregon's Mount Hood territory, about 50 miles southeast of Portland. They've never spent more than a few hours together under the same roof. And they're going to find out how a situation like that can help create a unified whole.
So we walk up to the house and you can hear this background noise. It sounds like rain, but it's not. It's actually the river. The house is actually, the backyard is the river. It's right there.
You know, there's descriptions that says, you can hear the river, but it's nothing like experiencing it. Opening the door and saying, wow, there's a river like 10 feet away. And when we walked in, it was just gorgeous. The pictures online didn't do it justice.
Everything here is wood, and it's all very earthy, but it's the smell of, it's almost like the smell of nature and Christmas and everything all rolled up into one.
For many people, traveling to a mountaintop lodge to experience the thrill of skiing and snowboarding is a perfect wintertime getaway. That's part of what drew this group to Mount Hood in the first place. There's just one little unexpected detail about this vacation, though. It's the middle of July.
Just the drive up was beautiful. There was trees everywhere, and at first you don't see snow until you get about halfway up there, and then there's that one turn, and then it's right in front of you, and it's just oh my God, look at all that snow.
It's the middle of July, and I could not believe how much snow was on that mountain, because it was about 70 degrees there. It was really warm, yet there was snow on the ground.
They had the ski lift, and there were all these snowboarders, and it wasn't just like a secret hideaway or some place where only 5 people know about it. People from all over the world would go to this place, and the U.S. Olympic teams train there because it's the only place in North America where you can ski or snowboard in July.
But don't assume that if you take the mile-long ski lift up Mount Hood, you're left to your own devices to get back down. Many people come up here just for the extraordinary scenic views of the Cascade Mountain Range, and then take the lift back. A simple round trip like this also allows you to tell your friends, hey, that's me, standing on the highest mountain in the state of Oregon.
I would advise people to bring their suntan lotion.
Oh!
The weirdest thing you might think to bring to a ski trip, but it's probably the most important one.
Oh! I have quite the sunburn that I've gotten. It didn't occur to me, you know, it's beautiful clear skies, and it's kind of cool but not super chilly. You just don't think about it. You don't think that you're going to need sunscreen, and then 6 hours later I pretty much turned as bright red as a lobster.
Even if you're an experienced snowboarder, swooshing down a mountain in July can be a completely different experience.
Brian and I, we snowboard. And so every time we go to like Tahoe or Snoqualmie or Stevens Pass or something like that, we're layered and we're very cushioned to go snowboarding, and sometimes it's freezing up there. To be able to snowboard and play in the snow in the summertime in Mount Hood, it's, you know, you feel lighter. You don't feel like you have 10 million layers on, and just by the end of the day you're just pooped and you're tired.
Yay, you made it.
But even in the middle of summer, the perfect ending to a day on the slopes is a nice cup of hot chocolate at the lodge. And this one, the legendary Timberline Lodge at the foot of Mount Hood, offers cocoa that's almost as memorable as the scenery.
Hey. You guys met Heidi, our mascot? It's been a Timberline tradition to have St. Bernards here as our mascot.
I think looking back at all of this, the location is amazing, and the activities and the things we've done and experienced together have been phenomenal, but it wasn't about those things. It was the opportunity that this location gave us to just really remember why we all became friends to begin with, and not just because the guys worked together, and not just because we were all put together in a house, but this incredible woven dynamic that we had, that this house and this place gave us the opportunity to go back to.
Some families are so close-knit that a 5 or 10-year reunion is just too long a time apart, especially if new grandchildren keep adding to the mix.
Molly, look at the horsey. Look.
That's why this family of 12 plans a gathering every year, and they always travel from Indiana to the same place, the Great Smoky Mountains in eastern Tennessee. And why not? It's where the whole family got started 50 years ago as a honeymoon destination. The Smokies border Sevier County, Tennessee, which is the home of the very popular towns of Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and Sevierville.
Over the years, we've stayed a lot of different places in this area. But as we drove up the hill, we said, is that the one? No, I think it's supposed to be 4 floors. Is that the one?
No, it's still going. Keep going up the hill a little further, and sure enough, all of a sudden we turn the corner to where we are. We look up, and we kept looking up and kept looking up.
And saw this 4-story behemoth of a cabin. We couldn't wait to get in.
Oh, Mary and Maggie, look! This is beautiful.
It says it's a cabin. It's much more than a cabin, believe me.
I don't call it a cabin, I call it a mansion.
The funny part was, there's so many floors that we kind of all got lost on different floors as we were going up. We all ended up back up together on the 4th floor, and we looked out. Oh. You know, we've been here so many times before, but we have never had this view. It just kind of made you feel like you were somewhere sacred.
Thousands of years ago, Native American Indians began to inhabit the valleys of this mountain range, and they named it Shakanahay, which means land of blue smoke, for the soft haze that masks the horizon every morning. Now, millions of visitors flow in from all over the world to experience the sacredness of this same place. What draws them is the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, offering free admission since President Franklin Roosevelt opened it in 1940.
Riding on the carriage, as my daughters called it, a princess carriage. It was such a great time. The girls loved it. They were little princesses, I think, on there. And our driver, Amy, did such a great job with Mary, even let her take the reins a little bit, and they had such a good time together. If I could pick one set of acres to be in my whole, anywhere in the world, that would be it. To just sit there and just reflect, relax. It gets back to that peace that we find in these mountains.
In Cades Cove, there was a small pioneer village, and one of the park rangers was in a costume. She was doing some things with a dulcimer.
And I thought it was amazing because she started playing a song, and it just happened to be Amazing Grace.
Such a special song to our family in so many ways.
And our family just kind of began humming and singing right along with her, and I think she was kind of taken aback by that at first. But it was a really inspirational moment.
Next to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, the biggest attraction to visitors in all of Tennessee is man-made, or should we say, woman-made. It's Dollywood in Pigeon Forge. In one area of the theme park, Dolly Parton recreated a little part of her hometown, complete with a 50s diner, cars, stores, and even the music she listened to at the time. Every year, 2.5 million people walk through Dollywood. But it doesn't feel crowded because, unlike almost every other park in the country, the designers built Dollywood right into the mountainside. Even the thrill rides sort of echo the early industry of the area, like the Mystery Mine roller coaster.
I have no doubt that the thing they will remember most is Dad going on Mystery Mine, a roller coaster. I haven't been on a roller coaster in years and years. And then I said, "You dummy. It's too late. I was committed."
I couldn't believe he did it. That isn't like him.
This trip was different just because we were all together and we did things we'd never done before. My dad doesn't do roller coasters. He just wanted to join in the fun.
You wouldn't think a bird sanctuary and a theme park would be good company. But more than 20 years ago, Dolly Parton decided otherwise. Right in the heart of the park, she created Eagle Mountain Sanctuary, dedicated to taking care of disabled bald eagles and returning healthy ones to the wild.
We want to welcome you to Dollywood. We're glad you're here.
Both girls just had stars in their eyes. They love birds. They got to get up close and personal with not just a bald eagle, but a golden eagle as well. And they were just in awe.
Mary was just in the midst of her glory, and she was standing there with the trainers with those eagles. I wouldn't want to be that close myself.
Darren had taken all these great pictures, and he told us to come down to the projection room. We all went down there and saw these wonderful pictures of everything we had done the whole week.
There's people who tell me, I haven't been on vacation in years. I say that's a shame, because you have missed the greatest opportunity to talk with your family and your children and rebuild and recharge your relationships.
You know what they say about absence and the heart? There's certainly something to be said about the power of coming back together after spending time in distance apart. And even though all these travelers have found wonderful and exciting things to do together, what's more important is that these vacations have encouraged them to simply be together. A great reunion destination makes it memorable. What makes it unforgettable is getting away together.
If you'd like to know more about the people, places, and activities featured in this or any other episode of Getting Away Together, log on to gettingawaytogether.com. That's gettingawaytogether.com. Getting Away Together was made possible by
TripAdvisor.com. 50 million reviews and opinions from real travelers.
They treated me like a rock star. Even the concierge knew me by name.
We could kayak right from our own private dock.
It felt like we had the whole island to ourselves.
I could almost reach out my window and touch the Eiffel Tower.
What an amazing vacation. We can't wait to go back.
Fantastic.
Millions of reviews of hotels, vacation rentals, and more. All from real people who've been where you want to go. TripAdvisor.com.
You've planned your trip for a long time. Wouldn't it be nice to know someone is helping you make it safe and relaxing? For more than 20 years, CSA Travel Protection has been making travel convenient with friendly, expert service, giving you security that your travel investment is safe, whatever happens, and the assistance you need from travel delays to emergency care. Before, during, and after your trip, we're CSA Travel Protection. Getting Away Together is devoted to people who reunite in celebration of friends and family. If you'd like to know more about this or any other episode, log on to gettingawaytogether.com. Learn more about each destination, how to get there, where to stay, and where to find the activities, homes, and people featured in the programs, plus streaming videos of every episode. That's gettingawaytogether.com.